Good evening. Good evening, beautiful spirits. It's Myra Magnus and another segment of Boxing Logics United. Peace and pugilism. It's time to flip the tables with the narratives that's going around in the boxing world today, particularly with the heavyweights. So I want to ask a question. What if LUIZ Ortiz beat Deontay Wilder? Of course, Deontay Wilder is the favorite. Probably by a big margin to LUIZ Ortiz. And I asked that question because everybody's saying, what if Anthony Joshua loses again to Andy Ruiz Jr.? Like, is his career over and all of that? So now I want to pose the question should I say, towards Deontay Wilder in the same sense. And that is, if he loses to LUIZ Ortiz in a rematch, Deontay Wilder already won the first one. But if he loses to LUIZ Ortiz in this rematch because he gave him another chance, what then happens to Deontay Wilder? Does he retire? I mean, this is the second fight, just like Joshua and Andy Ruiz is the second fight. What does Andy Ruiz Jr. do? I mean, not Andy Ruiz Jr., my apologies. What does LUIZ Ortiz do? Who will be the next person LUIZ Ortiz fight after, hypothetically, beating Deontay Wilder on November 23rd? Hope I'm correct. Saturday after next. Who will LUIZ Ortiz, who will be his next opponent after that? Dylan White? Usyk? Joshua? Andy Ruiz Jr.? Who will LUIZ Ortiz fight next if he is to beat Deontay Wilder? And what direction do Deontay Wilder take his career if he is so happen to lose? Now, we could probably assume it's going to be a rematch clause. That is, if they actually see LUIZ Ortiz as a serious threat. So there is going to be a rematch clause for Wilder, but it probably isn't a rematch clause for, of course, LUIZ, because it's the second time they lost the first one. So it's going to be a one-way rematch clause. We could definitely assume that. But what will Wilder do? Of course, if it's a rematch clause, he will immediately fight LUIZ Ortiz again. And so that means we're going to see a rubber match. In a very, very, very different order than we perhaps was never seen before. Whereas a heavyweight champion wins the first match decisively by stoppage, gives a fighter a second fight. That fighter, against all odds, ends up beating him. And then guess what? We get another fight that, we get a fight that nobody was really interested in the second time, but we have to get it now a third time. My apologies. Wouldn't that be crazy? I mean, what if that scenario just happened? Wilder stops LUIZ Ortiz in the first fight. He gives him a second chance for whatever reason. Well, he says because nobody else will fight him. So he gives LUIZ Ortiz a chance for the second fight. And LUIZ Ortiz happens to drop a clubber laying on him and knocks him out. Then that means we're going to have the third fight of Deontay Wilder and LUIZ Ortiz. What a cluster schmuck. And again, we're going to assume Wilder going to have a rematch clause in there, just in case if anything happens. But if they don't, who would LUIZ Ortiz fight after that? And what would happen to Deontay Wilder's credibility, stock, if that is to happen as well on his side? I'm just throwing a what if out there. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody's thought of this situation because it's very, very, very unlikely. But I just wanted to throw that out there. If LUIZ Ortiz was to defeat Deontay Wilder on November 23rd, where do both of them go after that? And will that have just as big an impact and just like turn the heavyweight division upside down as much as Anthony Joshua losing to Andy Ruiz on June 1st? Tell me what you think. I just came up with this crazy idea and I wanted to share it with y'all. This is Myron Magnus and you listen to Boxing Logics United. Okay? Please like, share, subscribe. One love and peace and pugilism. Enjoy your family. Cherish them. Tell them you love them. I'm out.